Welcome. It's the Matic. It's the illest blood in the land. Welcome back, Legends community. It is Matic 365, or you can call me Matic. The choice is yours today. I am back with a new video, and today's new video is actually going to be a movie review on Jurassic World Rebirth. So I gotta admit about this. The casting was really good for this movie. I mean, it felt believable. Scarlett Johansson felt like a leader, female lead for an action sci-fi movie. All right, I gotta admit that was really cool. I mean, I know Scarlett Johansson gets lead roles, but I haven't seen her much with doing this type of lead role for an action movie, and I thought this was really cool. Besides Avengers, right? Avengers Endgame, where she was the lead character for the movie. And that was something that I was like, you know what? I'm glad she's getting this opportunity. This is actually working for her in the movie for Jurassic World Rebirth. I really liked her performance in this movie. On top of that, the student of Alan Greer, when it came down to it, we have been introduced to another character that's a dinosaur nerd in the movie. And he's pretty much fascinated to go to the island and everything. And we know that Scarlett Johansson and all these other co-operatives have worked together before. So these people that she's working with, majority of them she's worked with before. Mahershala Ali shined in this movie as well as another main character. And I think that was something that worked. The chemistry was really well off with these characters. Now, the other thing I gotta admit, I like the introduction to the story. What took place on this island that took place in the first Jurassic Park movie that came out years ago. They are back at this particular island, and we see the beginning. What took place when it came to the crossbreeding with the dinosaurs and actually the mutations when it came down to it. And I mean, the one dinosaur looked like Frankenstein. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That dinosaur looks mad crazy, yo. I like, that's Frankenstein dinosaur. And that really worked. We saw the mutations with the dinosaurs within the movie. Now, the movie does go into an odd direction for it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I felt like this movie reminded me of a video game, right? You got your main story, which introduces the cooperatives working together to go to this island to actually get this actual dinosaur DNA to help humankind, right? Then we're introduced to another group of characters that are people that live around the islands that actually live with the dinosaurs, coexisted with them, all right? And I gotta say, the family, to a father, his two daughters, and Ashley, his actual older daughter's boyfriend. That was an interesting take. That was giving me DLC vibes. But you know what? It worked. Because the pacing for the movie, for it to be a 2-hour movie, you understood why it was a 2-hour movie. We're working on seeing what the actual cooperatives are going through when they make it to this actual island, and we see what this family is going through as well. And I actually gotta say, I was surprised by this. I was like, whoa, pause. You mean to tell me we got main story over here, DLC on this side, but it worked. It actually freaking worked because I actually got attached to the characters. You got this father that is protective of his daughters. He's trying to bond with the daughter's boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? The youngest daughter reminded me of another character from Jurassic Park. So I was like, oh, they cooking. They cooking with this movie. I said, yo, bring it. Also, this movie does take a page from Jurassic Park 1. And you know what? I'm not really mad at that because it does take place in that same island that they were on Jurassic Park 1. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad. This makes sense. You know what I'm saying? This is what they tried to do again. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, that did not happen. And I accepted it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, oh my God, no. Why does it have to take place in the first island in the first movie? Who cares, right? Who cares? The other thing that I thought was interesting with this movie was the villain. Because the villain in this movie was the one that got these people together, the cooperatives, not the family, but the cooperatives together to get this dinosaur DNA to help humankind. And he was a bit of a loose screw. He kind of had certain vibes about him. I'm like, you know what? You the villain, bro. You were the villain. You are the villain. And he just came off as standoffish, a bit snobby, selfish, arrogant. And you saw that through certain scenes in the movie. I was like, you know what? He's giving villain vibes. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And overall, I gotta say, I like the twist where the dinosaurs were able to do other things within this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had the other dinosaurs that were swimming in the water that weren't necessarily of that particular thing. This is where the crossbreeding became a thing, or maybe just the mutations. That was the cool aspect of it. When it came down to it. So that was something I was like, you know what? That was different. It was a bit risky, I'm not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, this was something that actually stood out. And then we're introduced to this other dinosaur that looks like freaking Frankenstein. And I mean, he was a trip as a dinosaur, you know what I'm saying? He looked like, looked very freaky in a weird way. But other than that, the only two cons I saw with this movie, right? So let's get into the cons. I've talked about the pros already. I would have liked to learn about the family a little bit more. Like, what was their reason actually being in that particular area in the water around that time? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know that it has something to do with the dad bonding with his daughters, but I felt like that was kind of like, y'all could at least, not saying throw a chunk in there, but just a little bit of the story just to kind of understand why they are there, and also the oldest daughter's boyfriend. The other thing is too, the way it ended, you know what I'm saying? It's a little weird, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I wanted to see them, like, what was the aftermath of them coming back, and maybe they're saving that for the sequel, and I get it. That's totally fine with me. But other than that, this movie, I didn't go in here with high expectations for it, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I've seen other Jurassic movies, and I'm like, what's gonna make this different? And you know what? Let's get into my movie rating for it. I would have to give this an A-. I actually like this better than the ones that Chris Pratt was in when it came down to it. And for this to continue forward as being a part of the Jurassic Park franchise, this is incredible. But it's your boy, illblurmatic, guys. You tell me in the comments, have you seen Jurassic World Rebirth? And it's the hardest working blur on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing, also sharing. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're watching and liking the videos, what are you waiting for? It's the hardest working blur on YouTube, guys, and I'm out.